What is up? What is up? What is up, guys? It's Rudy Henderson back with another movie review for you. And today we're going to be going through a movie that's all about the
But what's real is family.
That's right. Today we're going to be reviewing Marvel's Black Widow. This is a movie directed by Kate Shortland, starring Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz. Got it. Either way. This is Kate Shortland's first big major film as far as I can see. I saw she had some other film credits for movies I had never really seen before. And I'm not going to say that you can tell with this movie, but you can sort of tell. What my original thoughts on Black Widow are is that this is a movie that probably came out way too late. You know, the movie itself is supposed to occur right after Civil War, but Black Widow has been a character since Iron Man 2. So this movie could have happened back in Phase 2 and well before, it happening after Endgame. But let me get into a synopsis. So this movie is based on the fact that it's happening right after Civil War, like I just told you, and Natasha's on the run. She gets a package with these red vials that contain this mist or this antidote that can free all the Black Widows from mind control that are being put under from the big bad of the movie, and essentially stop this Red Room program that she came up through, her sister comes up through, and whatnot. And that's essentially the synopsis of this movie, is that her job is to get with her sister, go chase down the guy in the Red Room in the Black Widow program. Is this an exciting story? Sort of, kind of. There's a lot of action in this movie. It feels like one very long action set piece, which can be good and bad. It doesn't really let the emotional parts hit for me, because during some of the emotional parts, you get this random humor or just burst in action or something like that. It reminds me of Aquaman with the way the action pops in. It's like a jump scare, but with action. So I don't want to say that the movie isn't action-packed, because it is, but because it's action-packed, it doesn't necessarily make it a better movie, if that makes sense. This movie's been, from everything I've seen, compared to James Bond and some other great spy movies like that, and the spy part really isn't that active. They just sort of go from location to location to location to location, doing one thing after the other, and everything just sort of falls in place. And I know most movies are like that, but it's not in like a spy sort of way. It's just sort of like in a Marvel movie superhero sort of way, which this is. That being said, is it better, one of the better Marvel movies? Not really. It's right there in that middle tier for me. It's not something that I'm going to be dying to watch again. Like, I watched Endgame the other day. Like, I watch that movie all the time, and Infinity War, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. It's not the cream of the crop like those, Thor, Ragnarok. But it's like in the middle. It's all right. It's, I don't regret seeing it. I don't think it was something I needed to see the very first night, but it's not the worst movie ever. And I think I feel that way because some of the characters. Because this is a non-spoiler review, I'm not going to get too deep into a bunch of stuff, story, plot points, things like that. I gave you the synopsis, but let's get into these characters. So Natasha Romanoff herself, Scarlett Johansson, she comes across as sort of wooden. If that makes sense, she's very blasé. My emotions are dead. Everything is dead. And that's how I remember her being in Endgame, but not necessarily throughout the rest of the movie. She had some sort of personality, some sort of spark in this movie. I feel as though she lost some of it, she got some of it back. Maybe there's some emotional stuff going there. But she wasn't like my favorite character in her own movie. This is the Black Widow movie, and I didn't really connect with Black Widow, but who I did connect with, Florence Pugh, killed this movie, killed this appearance. Yelena Belova, to me, hands down, best character in this movie, makes this movie watchable. Without that character, without the little sister character to Natasha Romanoff, this movie becomes incredibly more hard to watch. And I'm just so thankful that she's in this movie. She has all the best character moments. She has all the best emotional, heart-tugging moments. She has the best running joke in the movie. She's just as skilled at combat as Natasha. She has a little bit of a different skill set or move set. They even talk about how she's like the most dangerous assassin ever for her age or something like that in the movie. So she's a great character, and I can't wait to see her more in Marvel Phase 4. And if this movie did anything, it set her up to go to the future. The dad, David Harbour, Red Guardian. I have mixed feelings on this character because he's the comic relief, so I don't want to get too harsh on him because he's there for comic relief. But he's really, really useless, guys. Like, extremely useless. I don't think he wins one altercation he's in. All he does is gloat about his glory days as the Red Guardian, how he may or may have not fought against Captain America. That he, as a character, doesn't really do much in this movie other than crack jokes. And some movies that can be a good thing, some movies that can be a bad thing. In this movie, I think it was more of a bad thing. The mother character, played by Rachel Weisz, she's barely in the movie. She's there in the beginning when they're showing you them young and everyone together with the family, and she's there at the end. She bookends the movie. She does have an important role in the movie, but other than that, she doesn't really do anything. She's just sort of there for that important thing that she does. Now let's get to the villains, or the worst part of the movie, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys have been on the channel too long, but I did a video a while back previewing Black Widow and talking about all the things that might make this movie really good. One of them was Taskmaster. I was very, very excited for the character of Taskmaster. Taskmaster sucks. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not Taskmaster. It's not the guy from the comics. The power doesn't work the same. There's so many things that were changed, and this character doesn't speak in this movie. Talk about unimpactful villains. Not one word uttered from this motherfucker. The entire movie, nothing is said out of the mouth of this person. I think you get one line at the very end of the movie. When I say the very end, not to exaggerate, I'm thinking last 2 to 3 minutes of the movie, you get Taskmaster saying like one thing, and that's what you get from that character. The other evil character is the guy who's in charge of the Red Room, the Shadow Organization, real fat guy. I mean, I guess he's like a James Bond villain. He has a monologue where he like talks about his entire plan and how strong he is and how to control everything and how he controls everything from the shadows. So I guess that can remind people of the James Bond thing, and that's your connecting factor. But he wasn't a very good character. He was just a fat guy who ran a spy organization. I don't know how else they could have like done anything with that. He wasn't like a threat at all. He had a little cheap thing he had going on to make things difficult for Black Widow and the team. I won't speak about it because this is the non-spoilers review, but the villains really fell flat for me, and that's how I feel about the rest of this movie. While there is some big action, those Marvel quips and funny things that are said, the movie all in all just sort of fell flat. It was sort of disappointing, and to be real, not really needed. It wasn't a movie that I needed to see. It felt as though Marvel and Disney looked at each other and was like, you know what? We haven't made movie theater money in a minute, and just put this movie out. It feels like something that was in their back pocket they forgot about and put it out. And instead of putting it on Disney Plus, which shame on you people on Disney Plus who paid $60 million in box office to watch this movie at home. This movie is worth watching at home, but for free. I'm giving Black Widow a 6 out of 10. Really, it's because of the after credit scene and some things that happen with Florence Pugh. The after credit scene you will only understand if you have seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That is a warning. You'll probably catch it on YouTube or something like that within a week or two. If not, go see the movie. I do think the movie is probably better experienced in a movie theater than at home, because some of the explosions and the action can really get you in the moment, and at home it might not be the same if you don't have the same speaker set up and all that good stuff. So I think it's a better movie to see in theaters, but I don't think it's necessarily worth seeing in theaters. What's you guys' most disappointing Marvel movie? Put that down in the comment section below for me and let me know. I do reply. Also, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and like the video. I always have more stuff dropping. Thank you guys for coming by, and last but not least, always remember, keep it sexy.